You're listening to the Building Wealth in Your 20s podcast, the show which puts you in the driver's seat of your financial future. Young people taking their money seriously. And now, here's the latest from Building Wealth in Your 20s.
Hello, love. This is Doreen.
And this is Chuck. Welcome back, Doreen. How you doing?
Good. So I understand today we're going to be talking about letters and numbers.
We are. Numbers and math, which everyone's a big fan of, really.
Ooh, go math.
Fun stuff.
But
yes.
Not algebra, because no one uses algebra ever.
It'll probably never come back up in your life ever again. You'll never see it. Never need it.
No. But we are talking about 401k.
That's right. 401,000. That is not what that means.
K.
K. It is a,
K.
I think, paragraph K.
K.
It's a law.
Special K?
It is. It could be special K. But that's the number and the line or the paragraph in the law. And it sets up.
This is IRS stuff, right? When you say law, you mean the IRS code?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I don't think it is, but it deals with the IRS. It's money law. I don't know. Business law. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
No, but neither are you a financial advisor. But that doesn't stop you from
talking,
chatting about it.
Again, we're allowed to chat. Not giving advice. We're just talking about some ideas and some educational entertainment stuff.
Okay.
But today we're talking about 401ks.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Your employer is able to offer you a savings plan, basically.
How nice of them.
It is. Actually, it's pretty awesome, I think. Although not everyone agrees with that, but that's okay. So the idea is that basically you make X amount per month and you say, hey, I want to set aside 5% of that. And your employer says, oh, I like that. That sounds good. You should do that. And I will give you some more free money to match that.
That's why we love those employers.
That's
free
right.
money.
Free money.
They want you to be good.
That's right. And sometimes it's dollar for dollar, like up to the first 5%, or they might say 7.5%, but you only get 60% of what you put in will match. And it doesn't vest for 5 years, meaning if you quit early, it goes away. But if you are sitting in the same job for a while and it'll lock in there and you take it away, that is literally free money. So I had one job where it vested in 3 years, one where it vested in 5. And the other one was 3, but I quit before 3. So
it all went away.
It did. That part of it went away. What I put in did not go away.
But the match.
It went away. Yes.
They don't have to match if you don't stick around.
That's right. And some places don't even let you get into it for a year, but most places start right away.
Kind of confusing.
It is a little confusing.
So if you start a job and you're kind of confused, who do you talk to usually to figure it out?
HR, the people, whoever signed you up. And a lot of places will automatically sign you up for a 401k instead of you having to ask for it. So you can get out of it if you want to, but it is generally a really good idea, I think.
Why so?
Well, it automates things. And sometimes if you're not looking at it, you don't miss it. If you lose 5% of your, not lose, but if you take home 5% less than you normally take home, you're probably not even going to feel it. You get used to it. You get a pay raise. Money goes up, but 5% off the top goes to you, to older you. So it goes into your retirement, and that's generally a good idea.
So 401k is like a retirement account? You
That's
get
right.
That money back when you're old and not working anymore?
That is correct. It is a retirement account. You get it back at 59.5, I believe. And here are the advantages of that. One, and this is the traditional. We'll go to the traditional right now. The traditional one, you put your money away, and that money comes off of your income. So if you're making $100,000 and you put $10,000 in your 401k, now you're only making $90,000. So you're saving on taxes. Downside is you pay it later.
Oh,
on the earnings. Yeah.
But hopefully taxes later are less because you're not making as much money. You're
That's
just
right.
making what you're pulling out of
That's
your
right.
401k and maybe a little Social Security.
That's right. So let's say you're retired and you're living on $50,000. You're pulling $20,000 from Social Security, and you're only pulling $30,000 out of your 401k. You're paying at a $50,000 a year rate rather than a $90,000 a year rate.
So you end up paying less taxes over time.
In theory, yes, that is the idea.
Okay.
So the new thing that they now offer.
Does it also grow while it's in there? Is there other
Absolutely.
advantages because it grows?
Yes, it is not just a piggy bank, although you can just have it in cash if you want, but that would be insane. You can put it in bonds if you have, if you're going to retire in like 5 years, you might want to be in something a little more stable. But if you've got like 30 years, if you're 23 and you've got 40 years, 42 years, you could put it in.
Let those dice roll, man.
Yeah. Go into very aggressive small cap stocks, let it ride the ups and downs of the market. You'll probably go through 8 or 9 market cycles and make crazy money. So this week we hit the 30-year anniversary of the market flash crash. It was a Monday, I believe we lost like 20%, 25% in a day.
So if you bought that day, you got
Yes.
everything 25% off.
I did. In fact, that is when I got into it. I was 14. I bought IBM and Digital, and that was interesting. But
For those of you who don't know, IBM is International Business Machines, and they used to be the thing
They were.
in computers.
they were, and Digital used to be a thing, but they got bought by Compaq, which got bought by Gateway, I believe. Anyway, they're gone.
Which are all computer companies.
They're all computer companies. I would never advise a 14-year-old to buy into two tech stocks, basically the same kind of computer or same kind of stock, but it really doesn't matter at that age. The nice thing is that it got me looking, and while I didn't have a lot of money, at least I've been watching this stuff for 30 years, and so that's been helpful. Anyway, so back to letting it ride the cycle. 30 years ago, the market went way down, but even if you bought it the day before it crashed, it's now we're at about 1,000% of what it was then. So
That's a much better game than leaving it in the bank
Yeah.
to gain a little bit of interest every week in your
Yeah.
savings account.
yeah, what are you making the bank now? Like 0.75%?
Yeah,
if
it's
you're lucky.
nothing.
You get CDs or bonds that do a little bit better, but it's a waste of time. Yeah.
Basically, inflation ends up what
Yeah.
you're making on the CDs.
If that, you're almost always going to lose. Inflation's been about 3% lately, 4% on average. And you would not even be making that in a savings account or bonds. Safe bonds. Anyway, so yeah, you can let it sit there for 30, 40 years, and in theory, you'll be doing really well. Hopefully the market's doing well over that much time. It generally has. But that will grow tax-free. You're not paying taxes each year, each time it grows or splits or get dividends, or you can buy and sell and move stuff around for 40 years and not worry about the taxes. And the growth you would pay taxes on at the end as well. So
When you take it out.
yeah. It's
But
like
not
you're
until then.
Yeah, it's like you're getting paid then, not now. Now the only difference now is we have a Roth 401k that some employees offer, and that is where you do not deduct the money that you put in. So it is after-tax money, which is great because that means you can actually put in a lot more. I think the limit's like $18,500, but if it's after-tax money, then that's really almost like $22,000 of income because it's after-tax. So that's pretty good. Now ironically, the matching money has to be non-Roth, so that will sit and grow, and that is tax-deferred. But the initial money you put in is after tax, which means Roth, it grows for 40 years, and then you do not pay taxes on the money or on the growth. And generally, the growth is going to be 95% of the money.
Sounds like a better deal.
Yeah, it is much better. Anything with Roth, that you want to go for that because you kind of lock in the taxes now, which hurts now, but you'll never pay it again. And kind of the other theory is that will taxes be higher or lower in 40 years? Well, probably higher because we're not paying our bills right now as a government. So taxes will probably go up in theory, but who knows? So if you lock it in now at whatever rate you're at, then
How do you get the money out when you get old? How does that work?
What
if the company you work for doesn't even exist anymore?
That is a good question. Here's the good news. It is not your company. Your company does not manage it. And in fact, the company that manages it does not really have the money. Often people will go to a third-party company like Vanguard or Fidelity, who are mutual fund companies, and they will hold it for you. So you can put it into a mutual fund there, and they might diversify it into 500 or 2,000 stocks across the market, and it sits there. So if Fidelity went out of business, you're okay. If your company goes out of business, you're okay. So it's
well, that's good to know.
it's pretty much much safer. So anyway,
cool.
Yeah, you get some flexibility there. So that is basically what a 401k is.
Well, let's stick around and we'll give you more non-financial advice, but definitely good banter.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Bye. You know what, Chuck?
What?
Everyone should join our online community at facebook.com. You know what the call words are?
It's facebook.com/building wealth in your 20s.
Or we got a fantabulous book. You can buy it on Amazon. What's that one called?
It's called Building Wealth in Your 20s.
The Building Wealth in Your 20s podcast is a product of Baird Media. This podcast is meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing should be taken as advice for you specifically. For personalized advice, don't listen to these guys. Go talk to a professional.